Welcome to the University of Hertfordshire, a community nestled in green spaces just north of London. So, where exactly are we? We have 2 campuses in Hatfield. Getting here is an absolute breeze. We are a 25-minute train ride from London's King's Cross station, and we have direct rail links from Stevenage, Welwyn Garden City, Cambridge and North London. 𝐂𝐻𝐿, your university bus service, ensures you can get to campus easily, whether that's from Hertfordshire, Bedfordshire or North London. Discounted fares on the whole of the 𝐂𝐻𝐿 network and a free shuttle between campuses means it's not just a bus, it's your ticket to independence, exploration and adventure. We are very well connected via the M25 and A1M if you choose to drive. Our nearby park and ride is super convenient, and we also have limited on-campus parking. So, whether you are coming by train, bus or by car, getting here couldn't be easier. Join us at the University of Hertfordshire, where ideas move at a different pace.
Hi everyone, welcome back for another live session. I'm Shamima Shumi from 𝐸𝐿 Global Education Limited. We are an accredited student consultancy service firm, and we have tied up more than 80 top ranked universities in the UK. In our today's session, we do have our special guest with us, Alice Crichton, the Regional Manager South Asia of one of our prominent partners, University of Hertfordshire. Hi Alice, how are you?
Hi everybody, thank you so much for having me today. It's such a pleasure to always work with 𝐸𝐿 Global. It's definitely holds a very close place in my heart when I came to visit Bangladesh last year. So thank you so much for having me. And yeah, as Mima's just said, my name's Alice Crichton and I am the Regional Manager for South Asia at the University of Hertfordshire. And yeah, I'll be giving you hopefully a really useful and intuitive session today. Are you happy for me to share my screen?
Sure.
Let me just get this loaded up. Would you be able to let me know that you can see that in full screen?
We cannot see the full screen right now, but we can see the screen.
Okay, let me try a different way. Just give me one moment. Let me try again. Did that work?
No, we cannot see.
No, that didn't work either. Excellent. Oh, how's that?
Okay, now perfect.
Great. Let me just check it moves. Yes, there we go. That's working, isn't it?
Yeah.
Perfect. Great. So yeah, welcome everybody. Please excuse me if I'm just looking this way a little bit. I'm going to have my 2 screens up, but I can also see it here. So I can also keep an eye on the chat. Again, thank you so much for joining us today. It's such a pleasure, as I've mentioned, to work with 𝐸𝐿 Global. I was in Bangladesh last year in the summer, and my colleague Dean was there just last month, actually. And we are so delighted to work with some fantastic students and colleagues from 𝐸𝐿 Global all over Bangladesh. So I'll be talking for about 30 to 40 minutes today, and then there's a chance for any questions that you might have at the end. Feel free to put them in the chat box if you want to, and then we can go through any other questions at the end as well. Okay, so this is what I'm going to be covering today. I'm going to give you kind of a wide overview of the University of Hertfordshire. If I call the university by its nickname UH, that's just because the University of Hertfordshire is a very, very long name to say. So we always abbreviate it and call it UH. So that's what that stands for. So I'm going to talk through the location of UH and its reputation and history, and then go through some of the academic fields. So what sort of programs you could study, how much it's going to cost you, what scholarships we can give you in terms of entry requirements and sort of levels of education, and then how to apply. And then once you're here, looking at the sort of next steps. So accommodation, careers options, and the amazing facilities we have on our campus, as well as sort of student services. So hopefully this is going to be a really helpful session for you all, and I will answer all of your questions all about the University of Hertfordshire, and then we can get some applications in, hopefully, for September 2024.
Yes.
So, Hertfordshire is actually the name of a county, which is a place in the United Kingdom. So, as I'm sure you guys are aware, but just in case you're not, the United Kingdom or the UK is split up into England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. And I'll try and put my pointer on so we can see this here. England sort of is this bottom bit here, sort of the bottom right-hand section, and Hertfordshire is actually a county or a sort of area within England, and we've got our name from that county. So we are the University of the County of Hertfordshire, and we're based in a town called Hatfield, as you can see. Now we've split up this sort of purple section here so that you can see how close we are to the capital city of England, which is of course London. We really are one of the closest universities to the main capital city without actually being in the centre of the city. And that gives us lots of advantages that you'll see throughout today's presentation. The main advantage is that we are a lot more affordable than all of the London universities. Because they're a capital city, it's just that bit more expensive because of the, it's much more busy. And so they have to charge you a lot more money. So we are a lot more affordable. You can be in London in under half an hour. So it really is a great place if you want to save a little bit of money, but also experience that London life. We're also surrounded by some beautiful countryside, which I'll show you. I was actually born and raised in Hertfordshire. I'm a Hertfordshire girl through and through, and I'm still here now, many, many years later. So I can really vouch for the fact it's a beautiful area to live and to study and to work. It's surrounded by lots of greenery. I sort of live in this bit here in Cambridgeshire. You might have heard of Cambridge. It's a really beautiful city, and also the Surrey countryside here. Now, if you wanted to look at sort of location in terms of transport, you can see the train lines here and how easy it is to travel by train into London, but also the 5 major airports around Hertfordshire. So you have Stansted and Luton, which are just sort of maybe 20 to 25 minutes in a taxi. They mainly focus on European destinations, but can also take you to Dubai now as well. So there is a lot more flexibility there. Southend is slightly further away, but I really wanted to draw your attention to Heathrow and Gatwick. These are the 2 major airports in the UK that you might have heard of. These again can be reached in a taxi within, say, 30, 40 minutes as well. And Heathrow is probably the main airport you'll focus on. So really easy for you to come to the UK, for you to go home for the holidays, for your family to visit, or for you just to explore, in your free time, a little pop to Paris or Madrid or Greece or wherever you want to go. So we are very, very lucky with our location. Okay, so following on from our location, let's focus in a little bit more on the university. So I'll show you on the right first. As I mentioned, we're in a town called Hatfield in Hertfordshire, and this represents the train line all the way into London King's Cross, as you saw on the video. Now, there is one train that takes 23 minutes. So from your university door to London King's Cross, you can be there within 30 minutes maximum, which is a really, really great benefit if you want to, as I say, have that more kind of quiet and affordable life just outside of the city, but then be in the city within half an hour. As you also saw, we're very connected by road transport as well. So we've got a great bus system that can take you around for a very, very cheap price, just £1 or £2. And then we also have some other major places like St Albans, which is a medieval city where you will have your graduation. It's really, really beautiful. And then you've got loads of other sort of towns around with great facilities. And as you can see, lots of beautiful green countryside. So on the left, you can see a map of our 2 different campuses. So we have 2 main campuses, and then we also have an observatory for our astronomy students. So these are the 2 main ones that you will be studying. So you've got the College Lane campus here, which is the bigger one, and I'll show you a map in a second so you can visualize it. And this is our sort of bigger campus down here. And then you can see the dotted line, which represents the walkway that you can take as a student to get to the other campus. That takes about 10 to 15 minutes to walk. So it's really, really easy, really safe. There's an underpass. You don't have to walk on the road. It's very well lit. or you can take the bus if you're lazy and tired and it's raining, which just takes about 5 minutes, and that's completely free for the university students. Now you can see in the middle, there's this sort of yellow area here. This is called the Galleria, and this is a social space which includes many restaurants, shops, supermarkets, and even a cinema and a bowling alley. So there's loads of things to do if you get bored in your walk, if you've got like a lunch break, for example, or if you want to socialize with friends after your university lectures. So let me show you the two different campuses that we have here. So I want you to sort of imagine you've been thrown into this university. You've met me for a campus tour. I'm going to show you around. And I always ask you to meet me here at the forum, which is in the right-hand side. So you can get the bus here, as we said, just for £2, or you could get a taxi easily. And you'll start off at the forum in the right-hand side. And this is our social area for students, which has just been refurbished. And we finished that last year. So that's got a nightclub, some bars, a huge restaurant, cafes and other social spaces, as well as some lecture theatres too. Again, the Ellie House Square here, that's where I'm based and I work. We have the international office in the Ellie House. And this is also a student pub. And in this square, they also have lots of free activities that you can get involved with throughout the year. So sometimes there's music, sometimes there's food stands, sometimes there's societies or speeches going on. There's always something happening in this square here. The Hutton Hub is the student advice centre. So if you ever have sort of a question or a problem, this is where you will come. So you've got Ask Heart, which looks after your sort of day-to-day questions if you are lost or if you have a technology problem, for example. You have the careers service who can help you with jobs, which I'll talk about later. You have the wellbeing team who can help you if you would like to speak to someone about your mental health. You have the student immigration team who can help you with sort of international issues. So, for example, BRP and visa problems, they are the guys to go to. And then we also have the medical centre in here as well. So when you are a student in the UK, regardless of the university that you come to, you have to pay what's called the NHS surcharge. And that's because we have free healthcare in the UK. So you have to pay a small amount to begin with. I think it's about £700 roughly. And then you can access free healthcare for the rest of the time that you're a student in the UK. And we have a medical centre with the NHS on campus, so that if you need an appointment to speak to a doctor, if you've become unwell, you can get that really, really easily. You can also see here, yes, sorry to interrupt you, but please do let me know if you have any questions, Samima.
Sure, no problem. No problem. Please carry on.
So we have the key as well here, which you can see in the kind of the beautiful forest. This is a multi-faith chaplaincy. So if you want to practice your religion, we have a multi-faith space where you can practice with other friends or colleagues. And then we also have individual rooms as well if you want to practice your religion by yourself. So if you then come down this sort of long path here, and you can see some of the lovely greenery we have on this campus, we then start the academic areas on campus. So we have 4 buildings down here. You can only see 3, I'm afraid. And these are our art and design buildings. So if you're wanting to do art, illustration, fashion, architecture, anything like that, you'll be studying in these 4 buildings here. And we even have a gallery as well as workshops and an art studio as well. This building here is for our film, music and media students. And again, I'll show you the facilities later on. This is our sort of main building, which is changing at the moment. We're having some renovations at the moment, but there's a cafe, a reception, and a big social space for you to work with friends. If you're studying either physics, engineering, or computer science, we call you a SPECS student. So that's the School of Physics, Engineering, Computer Science, SPECS. And the SPECS building is currently over here, but it's actually moving to this building here that you can just see. This is going to be open in the next few months. So if you want to come and study with us for September, that building will be ready for you to come and study in. And it's this incredible new building. It's cost nearly £100 million. It's very, very expensive investment. And it's like a 5-level building with the most state-of-the-art facilities for all of our students who want to study SPECS. We have the health and social work building kind of in the middle here. So any sort of social work, midwifery, that sort of thing. And then we also have Hertfordshire International College in the middle of the campus. So if you need to study any sort of foundation course or pre-sessional English, you can study on the campus there. This is our Life and Medical Sciences building, so anything to do with sort of a biological science or biological field, and that's this building here. And this was again opened in 2016, so still very, very new and very modern. We have one of our libraries just here, the Learning Resource Centre. And then we have towards the back of the campus, the accommodation on College Lane. So there's about 3,500 rooms just on this campus. As you can see, they're very beautiful and modern. And we have a sports area in the middle too. And this green bit here is actually the background you can see behind me. This is one of my favourite places on the campus in the summer because it's such a sociable area. You know, students are out there, they bring their books, they bring maybe some music or some food. And it's a really lovely place to meet up with other people and relax.
Cool.
So this is our slightly smaller campus. This is the De Havilland campus. We have another library here right at the beginning. So this is another learning and resource centre. Both of these libraries are open 24 hours a day, every single day of the year, apart from Christmas Day. So pretty much every single day. And you can use all the facilities on both campuses. It doesn't matter if you're living on the other campus and you're studying here or vice versa, you can access everything. If you're going to come and study law with us, you have a designated building just here. This was finished in 2018, I believe. So again, very, very recent. And I'll show you the facilities later on. We have a beautiful sort of Scandinavian style cafe in here and the enterprise hub for any students who want to get involved with entrepreneurship and working with local businesses. We have the auditorium and the main building here. This is for any students who are studying humanities or education. And then we have the sports village at the back as well as another restaurant. So any students who want to either study sports or get involved in their free time, just for some, some exercise or to compete at a higher level, that's where you'll come. And we have loads of kind of pitches and cricket fields, etc., around the back here too. This bit of the campus is my favourite over here. You can see another accommodation sort of village over here, as well as a small shop. There's about 1,500 rooms here, so slightly smaller. And then you can see that we have this sort of beautiful green nature just to the right as well. And there's a lovely lake walk that you can do, which you can access within just a few minutes. As you can tell, I love the outdoors. And I really, London's my favourite city, but I live in a town just outside of London, in Hertfordshire, because I think we are really lucky to be able to enjoy the kind of beautiful green spaces around us, and then easily get into the cities as well. And hopefully you'll feel the same when you come here. So I've mentioned lots of these, but just to kind of remind you, these are the best facilities that we have that are non-subject specific. So just to remind you of our enormous sports village with our gigantic swimming pool, and we also have a rock climbing wall as well. So if you're into your climbing, you can come along to Hertfordshire. As mentioned, we have the doctors, careers, enterprise hub for entrepreneurs, wellbeing support, religious spaces, libraries, and a whole range of different restaurants, cafes, and a pub. And I should mention as well that all of our food outlets serve for all of the different diets. So whether that's vegetarian, vegan, halal, gluten-free, etc., everything's covered. So, as I mentioned, London really is on your doorstep. There's a 23-minute train, as I always say, and London really is a great city for so many reasons. If you've been to London before, you'll know it's very diverse and every single area in London is completely different. And you can also really make the most of this city as a student. And the reason for that is that so many activities in London are completely free of charge, which I think is such a great selling point for the city. So we have lots and lots of museums, galleries, parks, and open spaces that are totally free. So if you wanted to come in at the weekend or in an evening, you can easily, not spend a lot of money and still have a really nice time. We also have lots of student discounts. So when you register with the university and you enroll as a student, you'll get your student card, and this can give you discounts, not just in London, but lots of restaurants and shops all over, maybe 10 or 15 or 20% discounts. So there's loads to get involved with, and it really is, well, it's just one of my favorite places. And there's so many different restaurants you can try as well. So if you're missing home, for example, you can easily find a restaurant that will remind you of home, or try something new. So there's loads and loads to do. So we're going to come onto the sort of the campus now. We're also very proud of this fact that we are the second safest university town in the east of England. So, you know, rest assured, I don't know if any parents are on the call as well, but please know that, you know, your children will be safe. And if your parents aren't here, but they're worried, please do let them know we're a very, very, very safe university with security 24 hours a day on the campus. So there will, you know, if there's ever a problem, they can always get involved very quickly. I'll show you the accommodation later as well, but it's also worth noting that we do have some single sex accommodation as well, if you'd rather just be with, you know, females or males too. So, as I said, let's look at the local area, and then we'll kind of go more into the academic side. As I mentioned, St Albans is a city just to the west of Hatfield. This is the cathedral where you will perform your graduation. This is really an incredible place, and it's full of history, over 2,000 years exactly. It's got this lovely arena, so you can go and visit concerts, and a lovely food market at the weekends too. Hatfield, as I mentioned, is where the town is based, where the university is. And we have this Galleria shopping centre with lots of restaurants and different kind of places to buy things. Hatfield House is a beautiful historical property, which is about maybe a 20-minute walk from the university. This is actually home to Queen Elizabeth I back in the medieval era. So there's a lot of history, and it's a really beautiful place. Not quite as beautiful, but very important. We have some great supermarkets. These are the big names in the UK. We have Asda and Tesco. I think we have an Aldi as well, which are more affordable for students. And then lots of sort of specialty international food supermarkets too. So hopefully this will be one of you. We have over 30 students from around the world and from the UK. So we're a kind of medium to large university. And our students do come from all over. So we have over a third of our students are from around the world. Bangladesh is actually growing to be one of the most popular countries as well for our students. But we have students from all over, obviously from the UK, and then, you know, from other parts of South Asia, Africa, Europe, the Middle East, America, South America, like all over. So we're a very international and diverse university. So you can make friends from all over the world. So you might be wondering where everybody goes, but don't worry, we've thought that one through. So we have, as I said, about 4,500 to 5,000 rooms in total where you can live on the campus. As I mentioned, we put in a really big investment about 10 years ago to make sure that all of our accommodation rooms look very, very modern and up to date. So they're very nice on the inside, and I can show you some examples. And I think the best thing about the accommodation on the campus is that everything is included. So you don't have to worry about anything, okay? So what happens is when you've signed up to your accommodation and you're allocated your room, everything is included in the price that you can see, apart from food, okay? You obviously need to cook for yourself. So as you can see here, all of the bills, the Wi-Fi and the insurance for your contents is all included. So you don't have to worry about sorting out anything. You can just enjoy yourself and go on and think about your studies. You also have the option to live with friends as well. So if you're coming over with friends, or you know someone who also has a place at University of Hertfordshire, you can fill it in on your form and we can try to put you near to them or in the same block of flats. I will also show you some options now. Here we are. So for all of the kind of prices and features, you can go onto our website and see that. If you just go onto hearts.ac.uk/accommodation, and you can do some virtual tours as well. So you can go into the room and sort of drag the camera around and see what you would be sort of living in. But you can get an idea here of kind of some of the more affordable options and then some of the options that are slightly more luxurious. So we have a standard single here. This is probably one of the most affordable options on the campus. This is just pretty much a kind of bed area and a study area as well. If you wanted to have your own bathroom, you would have to choose an ensuite option. This is the example of that. And then you have a bathroom and a shower. We also have a twin room on College Lane. We have quite a few of them. So if you wanted to share the room with someone as well, you definitely can do that. And then we have this kind of more luxurious rooms as well that have their own kitchens, if you wanted to have your complete own space. But most of the accommodation doesn't have a kitchen, and then you share the kitchen with other university students as well. Typically, that's maybe about 8 students you would share the kitchen with. Some are a little bit less, kind of like 4, 5, 6, and some are a little bit more, but they always give you enough facilities to ensure that you have space to cook. Okay, so we know that a lot of students want to live off campus as well. That's absolutely fine. Obviously, the on-campus accommodation has the benefit that you can, wake up 5 minutes before your lecture starts and you can still be at your lecture on time and make sure you're studying. The problem with the off-campus accommodation is that your priority might not then be studying, okay? And we really want to make sure you've come to the UK to study, you are going to make the most out of your degree, your bachelor's, your master's. So this is why we always prefer the on-campus accommodation. But if you do want to live off campus, we have some advice for you, okay, that you need to follow. So you must live within a 1-hour commute or a maximum of 30 miles from the campus, okay? So when you're looking at options, if you've got other friends who you want to live with, we know that some of the towns around students want to live at, that's fine, but it must be only 1-hour commute from the university. And you can check that obviously on Google Maps, and then also the train, which is National Rail, and the bus system as well. We also have this PAL accredited landlord scheme. This is all on our website. This is a list of landlords that we know and trust, so that you can make sure that there's no hidden fees and that you know what you're signing up to ensure that you're not being kind of ripped off. So you know that what you're saying, yes, I would like to live in this place, that's exactly what you're going to get. So you can look at that at palonline.org.uk. Okay, so we are very proud that we are one of the world's top 250 universities under 50 years old. Okay, and this has so many benefits for us. So we're a very modern university. We're one of the post-92 universities in the UK, which means that all of our facilities are very modern and very up to date. You can see how much investment we're putting into our campus for our students. And we also have a really great focus on vocational learning and careers. Okay, we want to make sure that when you are coming to study with us, you're getting that really great hands-on experience so that you can go and get the best possible job after you finish studying. And if you're returning home to Bangladesh and you want to get the best possible job, we want to make sure you have the experience and the skills behind you. So let's have a look now at what sort of things you could study at the University of Hertfordshire and how it can help you in your future career. So we have over 300 programs available to international students, and this is growing week on week. Just yesterday, actually, we approved 5 new programs as well. So we're always looking to improve our portfolio and give you the sort of best possible options. So these are the schools of study that we have. We have the Business School, Creative Arts, Health and Social Work, Law, Life and Medical Sciences, which we call LMS. As I mentioned earlier, we have SPECS, which is our Physics, Engineering and Computer Science, and our Education School as well. And I'm going to show you now the courses available within each of our schools. Before I do that, which I'd forgotten about this slide, I wanted to go through some of the facilities for our schools that make us really, really unique in the country. Lots of universities don't, unfortunately, have these facilities. So we want to kind of really show off what we've got at UH. So for our automotive engineering students, we have an automotive workshop and the third best Formula student team in the UK. So these guys are actually making their own race cars and they're going on to compete with other universities, and we are third in the UK. So we're really proud of that. We have recording studios for all of our film, TV and media students, and we're actually based very, very near to some major film studios in the area. So we have the Harry Potter studios, which are about 15-20 minutes away. We have Warner Brothers, we have Elstree Studios, and we have Netflix are actually opening up a campus very close to the university as well. So it's a really, really great place to be if you are wanting to study film or media or TV. We have environmental science field stations, as well as the sort of bioscience labs, and as I mentioned, the Bay Fidbury Observatory as well. So any students who are wanting to study a sort of science, we have the most amazing facilities available on and off campus. We have a robotics suite for our AI students, and we even have a robot house that our psychology students can use to observe how robots behave with humans. And that's part of a really important case study at the moment into looking at how we can provide support for the elderly generation with robots. As I mentioned, we have state-of-the-art sports facilities. We have hospital and pharmacy simulation suites. So I'll show you some photos in a second, but this is for our life and medical sciences students. We have mock pharmacies, mock hospitals, mannequins that are pregnant, mannequins that are ill. And all of these can be recorded and monitored by our students in the sort of simulation suites, so they get the best practice for their future career. As I mentioned, we've got television studios, photography studios, art workshops, everything you need there, as well as car and flight simulators, which are really, really incredible, and even a wind tunnel as well. We have the full-scale replica Crown courtroom for our law students, and so much more. The list just goes on and on and on. So I'll just show you some of what I've mentioned. This is our Formula student team. As you can see, University of Hertfordshire there. We're really, really proud of this team, and the stuff they do is incredible. This is the example of one of the labs that we have in the LMS building. As I mentioned, this was only opened about 6 or 7 years ago. So it's very, very modern, and we wanted our labs to be very naturally light, so it doesn't feel like you're locked away in some sort of dingy classroom. We want this to be an inspiring atmosphere for you to work in. You can see here the Crown Court room, so the replica courtroom for our law students. This is actually so successful that it's actually used by British TV and film productions. So there's a very famous TV show in the UK called EastEnders. It's on every single night. It's very famous. And whenever they have a court proceeding, they always use this courtroom because it's so professional looking that they really like to use it in their TV shows. And all of our law students will get the chance to work here. And you can even have people coming in to view it, like in the viewing gallery. And they also have the law clinic as well for our students, where members of the public can genuinely come in with a problem, and then the law students can give them free legal advice. So it's really good practice. And again, this is all observed by your lecturers to make sure you're not making any mistakes. It's the same over here. This is an example of one of our mock hospitals. This is all observed by our lecturers. It's all camera recorded, dual screens as well, dual mirror screens, so they can make sure everything's going on, and they can ensure that they're getting the best practice possible. Okay, so I'm going to go now into each of the schools and tell you about the courses that we offer. As I mentioned, there are over 300 courses available for international students, so I'm not going to go through every single one, otherwise you'll be bored to death, I'm sure. But you can find out all of the course information on our website. So if you just type in the University of Hertfordshire courses, and you can see the whole list, and you can just type in what you want, and then you'll be able to see specific entry requirements, modules, fee structures, career plans, everything on there. But I'll go through a bit of an overview for you now. So within our business school, we have over 50 courses. You can study anything from accounting, business administration, economics, event management, finance, human resource management, International business, we also have a top up as well, which has just been released. Lots of different marketing strands as well, MBA, project management and tourism management. Within our Creative Arts School, we have over 80 courses available. So there's so many different courses here. And the Creative Arts School are actually winning so many awards in the UK. So for game and game design, we are #1 in the world. Okay, not just in the UK, but we're #1 in the world for our games courses. And the same with animation as well. We are incredible. So much so that I think the applications are actually already going to be closing pretty soon. For a lot of these courses. So I would recommend, if you are wanting to study a creative arts course with us, apply. I mean, for all of them, apply as early as possible, but especially these ones. So if you wanted to study anything from animation, architecture, comic design, English, fashion, film and TV, art, games, graphic design, history, illustration, music, photography, screenwriting, this is all that sort of department, and they really are fantastic. Health and social work, again, they fill up very, very quickly. There's only 14 courses available, and they do fill up because they need to have that sort of real one-on-one interaction with lecturers, because, you know, you're going to be working with human beings. So these fill up very quickly. They include our courses such as radiography, midwifery, different types of nursing, paramedic, physio, oncology, and social work too. Our Hertfordshire Law School has obviously all different law programs available, from bar practice, business law, criminal justice, and then lots of different specific types like property and human rights as well. And of course, LLB and LLM. Life and Medical Sciences, again, has a huge range. This is basically anything to do with the sort of the body, and then also kind of the world as well. So this also covers geography as well as our sort of transport planning, but then it also covers things like biomedical sciences, immunotherapy, dietetics, dermatology, cardiology and stroke, microbiology, nutrition, optometry, pharmaceutical science, and psychology and public health. So everything to do with the body and the world is covered by this school. Our spec school has a whole range of courses. Again, it's over 70, and we're going to probably be having some more soon as well. A whole load of different kind of engineering, from EE, so electrical and electronic, aerospace, automotive, civil, computer science, AI, software and networks, physics, data science, cybersecurity, astrophysics. Everything is here basically for you. Last but not least, we have our education school. Apologies for the fact that health and social work is there as well. Please do ignore that. These are the courses that you can see with education. For undergraduate students, it's just a generic education course. And then for our postgraduate students, it's just the early years and then different types, for example, special educational needs. Okay, so as I've mentioned, all of our entry requirements are on the website, because some courses have slightly higher or lower entry requirements. I'm going to give you the kind of general overview now of what you would need to come and study at UH if you are from Bangladesh. So if you're looking at starting a bachelor's degree with us, so undergraduate year 1, we would ask you to have a Bangladeshi higher secondary certificate or an intermediate school certificate with 70% or above, okay? And we need you to have IELTS, so that's the English language test, 6, with no less than 5.5 in any band. We do also accept lots of other tests as well, for example, Cambridge and Pearson. Again, this is all on our website, and your counsellor can guide you here. And I can see on your fantastic programme here, some MOIs are accepted as well for our postgraduate students. But you can always check this on the website, but this is the sort of standard for undergraduate. For postgraduate here, so postgraduate taught, please do have a look. We would ask you to have a 4-year bachelor degree from Bangladesh with 55%, or CGPA 2.4 or above. Again, it does depend on the course, but for postgraduate, some IELTS are 6 and some are 6.5, and again, no less than 5.5 in any band. Really do make the most of this if you can, okay? And I'm sure counsellors will recommend the same as well if it is something you want to do. We have placement years available for many and many of our UG and our PG courses. We have the placement year, which is when you go and work with a relevant company and get the really good work experience. And then we also have the extended research project as well. So that's like a sort of an alternative to working, and you do like almost like a larger dissertation. And both of these options, if they're available for your course, I really recommend. It does take a little bit of extra time, but it gives you some fantastic experience to take into the world of work once you've finished. If you want to see if your course has this kind of placement year or advanced research option, again, you can check on our specific course pages. So talking of work, just before we finish off, I'll probably be talking for another 5 minutes or so. As I've mentioned, we have a fantastic careers team at the University of Hertfordshire who can help you with anything to do with your career. So whether that's getting some CV help or resume help, some interview practice, looking for part-time jobs whilst you're a student, full-time jobs, placements, volunteering, anything you need, they can help you with. And they can actually help you for 4 years after you've graduated as well. So even if you go back to Bangladesh and you can't find a job and you're a little bit stuck and need some advice, you can give them a call at any time for 4 years and they can help you out. We do have lots of part-time jobs available on the campus. For example, student ambassadors, you can do campus tours and talks, as well as helping with UniBuddy, which is on our website, or you can work off campus as well in restaurants, shops, that sort of thing. Legally, you can work for 20 hours per week on a student visa in term time. That does increase in the holidays, but it's 20 hours per week during your study time. We actually recommend 15 hours as the maximum, just so that you really, really do focus on your studies. But legally, you can work for up to 20 hours per week. In terms of moving on to the financial side of things, so I'm going to look at fees and then scholarships. As I've said, every course page will tell you exactly how much it's going to cost. So there are a few courses here, as you can read, within our spec school and our LMS school, as well as some of our 2-year courses that do have a slightly increased fee. So it is worth checking the page to make sure you know what you're going to pay. But aside from these courses, this is our standard rate. Okay, so for bachelors, our standard course costs £15,500 per year. Most courses are 3 years, so you would pay that every year. Okay, so £15,500 per year for 3 years. Our standard PG, so master's rate, is £16,450 per year. Again, please do check the website so you know exactly how much you will need to budget for, though. We can also help with your sort of living costs as well. So you will need to show this amount here for your student visa application. Okay, so this is just over £1,000 per month as a minimum for up to 9 months for your student visa. That's showing the UKVI that you can afford to live in the UK. Okay, and your counsellors will talk you through this as well. So don't worry about this too much for now, but you will need to be able to show that you can afford to live in the UK. This is what we can kind of estimate that you'll be paying per month to cover your accommodation, bills if you're living off campus, food, and any other sort of living costs. Okay, so it totally depends on your lifestyle. You saw the different ranges of accommodation. Some are obviously cheaper than others. And it depends how much you want to spend, on food. That's £200 is quite a lot actually on food. But thinking about getting a phone for the UK. Do you want to go out and have some fun at the weekends, for example, within entertainment and miscellaneous? How much is your rent going to be? That's, probably the lowest you'll be paying is £500. The most expensive, I would say, it should be £1,000. It just totally depends. But you need to make sure that you can sort of, afford your time in the UK. So do a little bit of research there. All of this information about living in the UK costs is on our website. So if you go onto hearts.ac.uk and then you go to the international section, and then it says about coming to the UK and cost of living, and we can show you how much a typical student will need. So on to the good stuff. How can we help you with that? Okay, well, you'll be very glad to know that our scholarships are very generous, and we've actually just increased our scholarships for September 2024. So if you would have come last year, you would have got slightly less. So we're increasing our scholarships ahead of this September. The absolute maximum we can give out is £4,000, and this is really in exceptional circumstances. But what's a lot more common is these ones here. So we have £2,000 per year for undergraduate students. So it's called the Triennial Scholarship. That's automatic, okay, if you apply by the certain date. So you'll get £2,000 every year, so £6,000 scholarship in total. We do have an early bird discount, so if your deposit is paid by a set date, we can give you the early bird discount, which again is, oh my gosh, I've totally forgotten how much it is, £2,000, I think. Yeah, £2,000. We've just increased it about 2 weeks ago. So that's £2,000 if you pay the deposit by the set date, which at the moment is the end of April. If you pay your full tuition fee before you start the course, so from now until September, if you pay that full fee, you can also have a £1,000 discount in addition, okay? So you can get the early bird scholarship, and then you can also get the full payment discount too. So there's lots of things that can be combined. It's also worth noting, if you study your bachelor's with us and then you come back and study your master's, you can get the 20% graduate tuition fee discount. So lots and lots of scholarships available. The whole list is on our website. There's also one called the Chancellor's International Scholarship, which, we can work with sort of in-country representatives. But there's lots and lots of scholarships available. So hopefully that's all sounding pretty good. I'm nearly finished talking now, but let's talk about how you apply. Okay, so you'll work very closely with your counsellors at EN Global. As I said, they're a great team. I've worked closely with them for a long time now. They know Hertfordshire very, very well. So we're very glad that we can be working with them, and we think you'll think the same. They can help you to submit the application. Please ensure that you have all of the documents uploaded that you have. We have a full list on our website. For example, you will need your passport, you will need all of your academic transcripts and certificates, you will need reference letters, you will need English language proof. We have a whole list. There's about 7 documents in total that you'll need to upload. We will then give you a conditional or an unconditional offer, assuming you meet our requirements, and then you can submit any outstanding documents after that time. But as I said, it's better to do it right at the beginning. You can then start applying for accommodation and paying your tuition fee deposit. The deposit is £5,000 in total. You can pay a £1,000 holding deposit. Okay, so you can pay £1,000 to reserve your seat. And then when you can top up to £5,000, so £4,000 more. Okay. You will not be able to progress to step 8 until we have the full £5,000 deposit. Okay. So what we would recommend doing is paying your £1,000 deposit and then quickly getting the next steps done, and then topping up as quickly as you can to make sure you get your CAS on time. There's a few other steps as well. So you will need to conduct a sponsorship interview with my team. This is to prepare you for the UKVI in case they get in touch. And we're making sure that you have a good level of English and making sure that you are a genuine student too. And again, your counsellors can help you to prepare for this. We'll do some financial checks as well. So we need some kind of bank statements and bank letters. And then once that's all done, you can start to relax because you will have your CAS, okay? The CAS is a small number that will be sent to you, and you take the CAS to apply for the visa, okay? And once you have your visa, you really can start relaxing, okay? And you can get on your flight to the UK, and you can attend the really fun orientation week where we help you to settle in. Lots of fun activities, lots of free merchandise that we can give out, and we can also do things like we offer some free airport transportation as well. So there's loads and loads to get involved with. And don't worry, we will remind you of this much nearer to the time in a pre-departure webinar, which we normally run in the summer as well. So we'll send you an invitation and say, hey, we can see that you're coming to study in September. Please attend this webinar for lots of information. So thank you so much for listening. I've talked a lot, nearly for 1 hour now, but thank you so much for your time. I hope that was helpful. And if you have any questions, I'll be here for a little while. You can obviously get in touch with your counsellors, and then you have all of the social media on the screen as well. And of course, our website. So yeah, thank you so much again.
Thank you so much, Alice, for your wonderful and informative presentation. It was very fruitful for the students as well. So I do have few questions to you. So in terms of, entry requirements for the postgraduate students, so are you accepting medium of instruction for them?
Yes, so we're accepting medium of instruction for certain universities in Bangladesh. There's 10, I believe, that we're accepting. Off the top of my head, I can't remember those names, but you can get in touch with the UH Bangladesh team and they can confirm the universities.
Okay, fine. So what about the offer and cash turnaround time for the upcoming session?
Yeah, so it's likely that we will be doing offer turnarounds within a couple of days, assuming it's a standard decision. The ones that take slightly longer are where the application has to be referred to the tutor. So, for example, creative arts, they have to submit a portfolio and they have to go to the tutor for approval. That will take a little bit longer, maybe a few weeks, but not for the rest of the courses. You can expect to hear very quickly within just a couple of days for your offer.
Okay, fine. That's perfect. So as we have mentioned that student needs to deposit £5,000 to secure their cash. So after paying this deposit, so how much time they will get to pay the remaining fees to the university?
Basically, we would recommend paying the remaining deposit as quickly as possible because we can't issue the CAS without the £5,000. So once we've had the £5,000, we can then issue your CAS. That will start coming out probably next month. You've then got May, June, July, August, and September to pay the initial 65% of the tuition fee. Okay, so we ask for 65% of the total tuition fee to be paid by the time you enroll, which will be kind of middle of September. And again, all of this is very, very clearly communicated in emails. So there'll be no kind of doubts as to, when do I need to pay? It's very, very clear. It's called your liability date. We then ask for the remaining part, which is about 35% to be paid by January. So there's two kind of set dates where they need to be paid by. Yeah. But as I've said, if you can pay in full before the enrollment, we can give you a £1,000 extra scholarship as well. So I would recommend that if you can.
Okay, we'll inform our students as well. So Alice, can you talk about the PhD or a Masters of Research programs at the university, please?
Yeah, exactly. So we do have a large range of PhD programs. Masters by Research, we have a couple, but there's not that many at the moment, but we're hoping to introduce a lot more from kind of later this year. In terms of PhD and the current Masters by Research, it's a slightly different application process. So you will need to go onto the website and do your own research about what's available. And then you need to basically submit the application directly to the tutor, so to the relevant tutor, and say, submit like a research proposal thesis to say, would you accept me? So it doesn't unfortunately come through my office. It's a very separate application process, but the tutors are obviously very excited to have PhD students, and they can discuss, funding and options as well.
Okay, fine. So I'm again asking about the entry requirements regarding the gap for the undergraduate and postgraduate students. How many years gap you are accepting for them?
There's not a specific number I can give you. We will consider all applications. I would say if you do have a large gap, you need to talk in your personal statement when you apply about why there is a gap, okay? Even if you've been working or you've had work experience or volunteering, or if something has happened, please tell us, okay? Don't worry about it, but please tell us why there is that gap and what you've been doing. And do be honest, because we will check that sort of thing.
So you need to mention in the SOP, right?
Exactly, yeah. So in the statement of purpose or the personal statement, same document,
Yeah.
when you apply, that can be in one of your paragraphs, like, oh, I have a gap of 3 years or whatever it's going to be. This is why, and this is what I've done. Okay, so please just tell us, and then we can make decisions. It's much better that you tell us and we can review that rather than you not telling us and then we work it out, because then it doesn't look good. It doesn't look credible. Okay, so please be honest with us, and then we can review all applications.
Fine. So Alice, we are getting students from law background here who are interested to join, LLM bar practice at Hertfordshire. So can you give us some more information regarding the specific program, LLM bar practice?
If I'm being honest with you, I don't know the specifics. As I said, we've got like nearly 400 courses that we have at Hertfordshire, so I can't give you exact details of modules and things, but obviously I do know it's a very, very highly regarded course. As I showed you that kind of mock courtroom as well, and we know that law is very highly regarded in Bangladesh. I was out there visiting one of the law schools last summer, actually, so we know it's a very popular choice, and our academics and our tutors are very welcoming of Bangladeshi students from a law background. I can always send you the link if that would help, or students can go onto the website. It's totally up to you.
Sure. So can you talk something about the placement courses? The courses comes with the placement years. So how much they need to pay for the extra duration?
Exactly. So excuse me, as I mentioned, there is a slight increase for courses that are 2 years. For example, if there is a placement, there's a slight increase. It's not double, okay? So it's not like £16,000 plus £16,000. It's not that much at all. It does depend on the course. Sometimes it's about like £2,000 extra, but it does depend on the course. But again, you can check that on the specific course pages to tell you how much it will be with a placement. And that's just to sort of cover the support that we provide to you whilst you're on that placement. So you can always come back to the university for, help and guidance, and that covers that cost. So that's why there's a slight increase for that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Alice, for your information. And now I'd like to take some questions from the audiences who are watching our live session today.
Sure.
So, hi, I would like to know career paths for students who complete the MSc Environmental Management course.
So again, I can send you the link for this course page. And what I would recommend is you scroll to the bottom and there's a section that will say careers, and it will tell you where previous students have gone on to work. I would, from my experience of working with this department, I know that there's lots of students who have gone into sort of environmental companies, like we have Southeast Water, we have lots of geographical companies, we have the British government as well, but they will be able to give you very specific examples on that careers drop-down list on the course page, because I just, again, can't remember a million different companies off the top of my head. But it's very, very well respected. And, especially with kind of the climate change problems that we're facing in today's society, this is really important. And we really need students who have got, bright ideas, innovative ideas, who can, really make a change in the sort of environmental scene. So, yeah, do have a look, and it'll be a really great course, I'm sure.
Thank you. Another one, also related to placement years. So do you offer LLM with placement years, and could you explain the placement year?
So again, every single course page will tell you if there is a placement year or not. I can probably check my little, if you give me 1 second, I can check for you, because again, unfortunately, I just can't remember all of it off the top of my head, but I can check now for you and see if there is a placement year. But I can also give you an overview of what the placement year would look like. So let me just get the law page up. Give me 1 second. What was it? LLM, sorry.
Yeah.
So I can tell you now that LLB definitely has a placement. The LLM Business Law has a placement. LLM Criminal Justice has a placement. LLM Intellectual Property and Information Law has placement. Commercial Law and Arbitration, Human Rights Law, and just generic LLM as well. So yeah, they all have placement, which is great. Basically, what would happen is, looks like my internet's going. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Perfect.
Great. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. What would happen is that you would study with us for the first section of your course. I actually should mention as well, we have lots of courses that are available for January intake as well as September. So all of our courses are available for September, and then about 1/3 of the courses are available for January intake as well. Imagining that you are starting in September, you would study from September all the way to the following June, and then you would start your placement, for example, within a law firm or a solicitor's practice. You would start that like in the following summer, going on to the September, and then you would carry that on until the following June. So in total, it would be just under two years.
Okay, fine. So what about the top-up courses? As in Bangladesh, we're getting students who are completing, first, second year or third year undergraduation over here, and now wish to complete their undergraduation from Hertfordshire. So do you offer any top-up courses for the undergraduate?
We do. We have loads of top-up courses actually. Again, I can send you the list, Samima, if that would help, and you can distribute. I know we've literally got a new one that's being run for this September that's just been approved for international business management. I was thinking, what's the name of it? So that has now got a top up. So that's really great. Let me see if I can find any other ones for you as we speak now. So for example, business administration bachelor's, that has a top up. We also have some within creative arts. I can definitely send you the list because I'm just thinking there's about 400 courses here that I'm probably going to be looking through. But yeah, it's definitely something that we're looking at introducing even more. I can just see that we have BSc Information Technology that has a top up as well. BSc Computer Science has top up. So yeah, they're always increasing.
Okay, fine. So last question from my side. So MBA degree, which is very renowned and most demanding courses over there. Yeah. So are you require any work experience related to business field for this course?
Yeah, so it's not essential. Obviously, if you do have work experience for any course, we will look very highly at you. But it's not essential. As long as you have some sort of interest in the field and you can show us that you've done something, we will still consider the application. It's just students who have done absolutely nothing over their whole life and then they're suddenly like, I want to do MBA. No, we need to see that you really want to do this. So what have you done in the past? Even if you haven't got paid work experience, that's not complete no, but have you helped family in their business, or have you done something at school? Have you done a project? Something, hobbies, extracurricular, that shows us that you have a relevant interest.
Okay, good. So as we all know, that September intake is knocking at our door. So from when we will start taking the pre-CAS interviews for the international students?
Yeah, it's coming around fast, actually. It will be over the next couple of weeks. So where are we? Beginning of April? Yeah, sort of towards the end of the month, we will start those interviews. And again, all of that communication will be done over email. So once you have your offer, we will then be in touch to say, okay, this is when we're going to conduct your interview.
Oh, so thank you so much, Alice, for your nice presentation over there and to answer our queries and all. So do you have anything to say for our students also regarding 𝐸𝑛 Global Education Limited, please?
Just to say really good luck for your, for the next couple of months. We know that it can be very difficult, especially if you are finishing a bachelor's or you're finishing your high school education, but good luck. 𝐸𝑛 Global are so supportive. As I said, I've met with the counsellors personally and they are lovely and so thorough and so caring, and they can really, really help you to achieve success at the University of Hertfordshire. So stick with them, trust the process and be as organised as possible. Okay, so apply early, get your documents done early, apply for your visa as soon as you possibly can, don't delay at all, and get priority visa if you can as well. So the earlier the better for everything. That's all I would say. Thank you very much.
Nice words, Alice. It was wonderful. So, dear students, if you missed the January session, please do visit any of our branches to get to know more about University of Hertfordshire and to apply for this university for the upcoming September session. So, before I wind up, I want to inform you all that we have 3 largest education expos in Bangladesh, which will be hosted on 27th, 29th, and 13th in Dhaka, Sylhet, and Moulubibazar. So, please do attend our fairs to get to know about the university and to apply at the earliest. So, Alice, we're cordially invite you to join our fairs.
Oh, lovely. Thank you so much. And we have a really fantastic team who are based in Bangladesh, who I presume will be attending these fairs as well. And they are the experts as well. And they work very closely with EN Global. So thank you so much. That's great.
Thank you so much. Thanks once again to our viewers and students, especially Alice, for your valuable time and patience. I feel that all the students got all the necessary information regarding the application process to Hertfordshire. So take care, Alice.
Lovely. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a nice evening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.